Fundamentals of Chinese 3, Unit 11, Birthday Party, Attending a Birthday Party, Understand it. Turn to pages 113 to 116 in your book. Be prepared to take notes as we go along. Okay, this dialogue is, it's very long, but most of it you should already know. There's a minimal amount of vocabulary introduced. However, there is one piece of complicated grammar that's introduced that we'll take a look at a little bit here and more in depth in the grammar section. So, what does this mean? 在高小燕家，在高小燕家. This is setting up the context. So, pause and write down what you think that means. At 高小燕 's house. 在高小燕家. Next, she answers the door and says, 王鹏, 李友, 快进来. 王鹏, 李友, 快进来. Pause and write down what you think this means. Pretty simple. Wang Peng, Liu, hurry up and come in, or something close to that. Okay, now we have 小英，祝你生日快乐，这是送给你的生日礼物. Okay, this should be no problem for you. Pause and write down what you think this means. And hopefully you guessed, Xiaoyin, happy birthday. Here is your birthday present. And then we have 谢谢, and she opens the birthday present. 太好了，我一直想买这本书，带这么多东西，你们太客气了. Okay, everything in here should be no problem. Please pause and write down what you think it means. And hopefully you came up with something close to, thank you, great, I've been wanting to buy this book, you bought so much stuff, you are all too nice. Or something very similar to that. Alright, next we have 哥哥, Leo, 你们来了. Okay, please pause and write down what you think that means. Big brother, Leo, you're here, or you've come. You've arrived. 小红, 你怎么样? Please pause and write down what you think that means. And you likely came up with something very close to, hey, Xiaohong, how's it going? And next we have 我很好，每天都在学英文. Alright, please pause and write down what this means. I'm well. I'm studying English every day. Next, he asks, 小红，你每天练习英文，练习多长时间? Okay, so most of the vocabulary in here, or all of it, I believe, should not be a problem for you. What is a problem is this grammar, and we'll go over this in more detail in the grammar section, in the grammar video, but just try to guess what you think is going on here. So we have 小红，你每天, alright, no problem. 练习英文, alright, no problem again. And then we repeat this verb here, 练习, 练习多长时间? Okay, so if you just read this here, you could tell what that means. This right here, if the sentence was here, just this sentence, just this part here, you likely wouldn't have a problem. And if the sentence was just this part here, you also likely wouldn't have a problem. It is kind of awkward that it's all crammed together in one sentence. 你每天练习英文练习多长时间? Okay. Pause and write down what you think that means. Hopefully you came up with something relatively close to 小红, how long do you practice English every day? Okay, so take a look at this sentence again, pause and take a look at it again and try and see what's going on, and we'll look at this in more detail in the grammar video. Next we have her answer. 3个半钟头还看2个钟头的英文电视. Okay, now 钟头 is hour. So how long does she study English every day? 3个半钟头. And then 还看2个钟头的英文电视. So pause and write down what you think that means. All right, 3.5 hours. 3个半钟头. I also watch 2 hours of English TV. Okay. 哎，你们2个是什么时候到的? This shouldn't be a big problem. Vocabulary-wise, it shouldn't be a big problem, but you have a little construction here which is complicated. This 是 and this 的 are together in a sentence pattern. So we have the beginning of the sentence here, 你们2个. Okay, the subject, 你们2个. And then 是什么时候到的? So if you take this piece here, it should be easy to decipher. Don't worry about this 是 and this 的, because we'll go into this in some detail in the grammar video. Just put forth your best guess of what you think this means. 你们2个是什么时候到的? Pause and write down what you think it means. Okay. Hey, when did you two arrive? Or hopefully something pretty close to that. 你们2个是什么时候到的? So, this grammar in here, or sentence structure, may be a bit confusing. We'll go into it in a bit more detail in the grammar video. In the time being, look at her answer. 刚到. Alright, and that's pretty simple. Pause and write down what you think it means. We just arrived. 刚到. Alright, next, you shouldn't have any problem with this. 白英爱没跟你们一起来吗? And do we have to guess who said this sentence? Pause and write down what you think it means. 白英爱 didn't come together with you? Okay. 他还没来，我以为他已经来了. Okay, what do you think that means? Oh, before we give you the answer to that, we have actually a new piece of vocabulary here. So 以为. So you've seen these characters before, but together they make up a new vocabulary word, and it means to assume incorrectly. So the way I've always thought of what this means in English is when we say I thought something, right? I thought you were from Connecticut. I thought this was made with apples and oranges. I thought this only cost $10. Okay, so in English we use this past participle form of to think. I thought, and for us in English, it conveniently means that you thought something, but the implication is that you thought incorrectly. The implicit meaning is that you thought something incorrectly, right? So whenever in English we say I thought da 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 da, it's what you thought at one time, but later you realized it was incorrect. Okay, so that's always the way that I thought of 以为. It's to think incorrectly, right? So let's take a look at this. 他还没来，我以为他已经来了. Okay, so pause and write down what you think that means. She still hasn't come. I thought she already came. Or I thought she already arrived, or something like that, right? 她还没来, she still hasn't come. 我以为, I thought she already arrived or already came. Okay, this shouldn't give you much problem. 王鹏、李友来，我给你们介绍一下，这是我表姐海伦，这是他的儿子汤姆。Okay, pause and write down what you think that means. Alright, not so difficult here. Wang Peng, Li You, come. Let me introduce you all. This is my cousin. Alright, 表姐. 表姐 is cousin. This is my cousin Hailun, and this is her son Tom. This is pretty straightforward. 你好, Hailun. Hello, Hailun. And then we have a new piece of vocabulary. 聪明. Now you'll notice this ming here is the same ming as 明天 for tomorrow. But together with 聪, it makes up a word, 聪明, and 聪明means clever or smart. So we have 你好, Wang Peng. 文中, right, 高文中, 文中和小英都说你又聪明又用功. Okay, so you've already seen this yo something. It means both this and that. Both this and that. All right, so we have 聪明. Now we have to figure out what this 用功 means. So 用功 means hardworking or diligent. So it's often used to describe a student who studies very hard. 用功, right? So 你好, Wang Peng. 文中和小英都说你又聪明又用功. So pause and write down what you think that means, please. And most certainly you came up with something similar to hello, Wang Peng. Wenzhong and Xiaoyin both say that you are both clever and hardworking. Alright, next, this shouldn't be a big problem. Wang Peng comes back and says, 哪里,哪里?你的中文说得真好,是在哪儿学的? Now, before you pause and write down what you think this means, this is a good Chinese culture moment here. Okay, so Chinese are often very humble in public. They don't like to toot their own horn in front of others. And if someone praises them, they attempt to diminish the praise and then turn the praise onto someone else to get it off of themselves. So here, well, having said that, first try and translate this sentence and then I'll finish what I'm trying to say. 哪里哪里,你的中文说得真好,是在哪儿学的? Alright, pause and write down what you think that means. Okay, so you flatter me or come on, What are you saying? And then your Chinese is pretty good. Where did you study? Okay, so Wang Peng's was praised as being clever and hardworking. So he's first comes back and says "nali nali," meaning, "Come on, you're overdoing it a little bit. You're flattering me." And then immediately he puts the he redirects the praise onto someone else by saying, "Oh," in this case it's Hailun, by saying, "Oh, your Chinese is great. Where did you learn it?" Okay, your Chinese is pretty good. So that's very Chinese. If someone praises you, if you're in China, and whether you're speaking in Chinese or speaking in English, and someone praises you, you can come back with a "nali nali," right? And then immediately find something to praise someone else on, right? Sort of paying it forward, paying the praise forward. Chinese don't like it when the praise ends on themselves. Now, in a group of Chinese people, inevitably it's going to end somewhere. You just can't keep going in a circle of praise. But in any event, when you're praised, you want to deflect it. That's what the Chinese do. Shu is like summer vacation, a summertime. Shu, this character here, shu means summer. And so it's combined together with other characters to make words that have to do with summer. Like shu qi is summer term, because qi, you remember, is a period of time, or xue qi is the word for semester, right? The study time. So shu qi is summer term. Jia is a word that means vacation. Jia. So jia could be put together with shu, and you come up with shu jia, which means summer vacation. So you've also learned 夏天, which means summer. So when you're talking about the four seasons, it's 夏天. Right now is summertime. It's 夏天. But 暑 is also used to mean summer. In this sense, it's used with 期 to mean summer term. So write down what you think that means. 在暑期班学的. Okay, in a summer class. Pretty straightforward. Alright, 长 means to grow. Okay, or to appear. So we have this sentence here. 爱汤姆长得, now 汤姆 is the little baby. 汤姆长得真可爱. 你们看他笑了. 他几岁了? Okay. So we have 长, so it's grow. So look at the sentence here. 汤姆长得真可爱. Alright, so well, let's keep going here and we'll explain this later. Alright, next we have 可爱. So you've seen 可 and you've seen 爱, and together they make up a word, 可爱, which means cute. Okay, so now you have enough to decipher the sentence. Now this part here is a little interesting. The Chinese express this interestingly. So do your best to translate it. So we have 爱汤姆长得真可爱. 你们看他笑了, 他几岁了. Pause and write down what you think this means. Hey, Tom looks so cute. Look, he smiled. How old is he? So I said looks cute here because essentially that's what's being said, and that's probably the best translation for English. But really what he's saying is Tom has grown to be very cute. Or Tom has grown thus far, because he's only about a year old. Tom has grown to this point, right? Very cute. So a little awkward the way the Chinese express this. He could also say 汤姆真可爱. He doesn't have to say 长得真可爱. He could just say 汤姆. He could just say 他真可爱. He is very cute. But Chinese often say if they're saying that someone is cute or handsome or good looking, they often use the verb 长, which means to grow. 长得真可爱. Okay, so she answers 刚一岁 because he asked how old he was. 刚一岁是去年生的属狗. Okay, so there's a little bit going on here. 刚一岁 you should be able to figure out. 是去年生的. So here's the 是的 grammar construction that we saw a little earlier and that we'll go into some detail in the grammar video. But do your best to decipher it here. 是去年生的. 生. Okay, so we have more help here, so let's keep going. Okay. 属 means to belong to. And it's the verb that they use to say that they're a certain zodiac. So you have the Chinese zodiac where you're born in the year of the cow or the year of the dragon or the year of the rat or the year of the tiger, etc. And in English we might say, oh, what Chinese zodiac are you? And I might respond by saying, oh, I was born in the monkey year. That's how the conversation might go in English. In Chinese, the conversation would go like this. 你, right, you, 你属什么? 你属什么? Right? What do you belong to? And in English, that sentence doesn't make a lot of sense. 你, what do you belong to? But if you go to a Chinese person and say, 你属什么? All right, they're going to know immediately that what you're asking them is what is their zodiac sign. And literally what they're asking is what zodiac sign do you belong to? 你属什么? Right? 你属什么? Okay? And then you respond by saying 我属 and then the animal. Okay? 我属 in this case 我属狗. Okay? So I'm pretty sure you've learned to go, but let's just keep going here. Go means dog. So 我属狗 would be I belong to the dog sign. Okay. 你属什么? 我属狗. Okay. 生 here, if we haven't learned this, I'm pretty sure you may have. 生 here just means to be born. 生 in this case it means to be born. So 他刚一岁是去年生的属狗. Right? So pause and write down what you think this means. Okay? He just turned 1 year old. He was born last year. 是去年生的. He was born last year. 属狗. His zodiac sign is the dog. So often when we're picking fun of Chinese culture, like movies or what have you, the joke is the Chinese person in the movie says this whole long sentence, ridiculously long sentence, and then the English translation is something like hello or how are you. And the joke is, geez, they said all that and all it means is hello. Well, very often it's the opposite that's true. So in Chinese you have this long sentence, his zodiac sign is dog. When in Chinese, very simple, 2 characters, 属狗 says it all. Alright, next we have 你们看他的脸圆圆的. Okay, there's a lot of new vocabulary here. 眼睛大大的, 鼻子高高的, 嘴不大也不小. 长得, here's grow again, 长得很像海伦. Okay, so first we have 脸, which is face. 你们看他的脸 圆圆的. Notice how everything's repeated here. 圆圆的,大大的,高高的. Let's keep going. Okay, so Chinese, when they're talking about especially babies and talking about how cute they are, and so if the baby has a round face, they don't just say the baby has a round face. They say 他的脸, his face, 圆圆的, round round. They repeat the adjective 圆圆的,大大的,高高的. Alright, 眼睛 means eyes. 眼睛 means eyes. So 眼睛, 他的脸圆圆的, 眼睛大大的. 眼睛. Alright, 鼻子. 鼻子 is nose. 鼻子高高的. So Chinese describe noses, especially Western noses, as being high. So if you look at the nose of a Chinese person, it's flatter than ours. It doesn't emerge from the face. It emerges from the face lower down from the forehead. Whereas the Western nose, the European nose, tends to begin to emerge from the face higher up. So they describe a Western nose as being high or 高. And actually, in Chinese culture, the higher the nose, the better looking it's supposed to be. So 高高的, the nose is high, 鼻子高高的. Alright, 嘴 means mouth. 嘴不大也不小. Okay, and then we have one more piece here, which is 像. 像 means to be like someone, like to behave like someone else, or to look like someone else. So we have 长得很像海伦. Hailun is the mother, and they're talking about her son here. And he 长得很像海伦. So this is a pretty complicated sentence. Pause and write down what you think it means. Okay, so 你们看, look everyone, his face is so round. 他的脸圆圆的. So his face is so round, his eyes are big, his nose is high, and his mouth isn't too big or too small. He looks a lot like Hailun, right? 长得很像海伦. So remember, they're using this verb grow here, and it's kind of awkward for us because we wouldn't express it that way, but that's the way the Chinese like to express it. 长得很像海伦 basically means he looks a lot like Hailun. So when you're translating this into English, you just get rid of 长. You just don't put it in there. You just say, he looks a lot like Hailun. The problem becomes when you're translating from English into Chinese, and you want to say, oh, he looks a lot like his mom. You have to remember to put this 长 in there. 他长得很像他妈妈. 他长得很像他妈妈. He looks a lot like his mom. Mama 这么漂亮，儿子长大一定也很帅. Okay, so you've learned 长 means to grow. So 长大 to grow big means to grow up. When I grow up, right? 我长大以后 when I grow up. 长大 to grow up. So 妈妈这么漂亮，儿子长大一定也很帅. Okay. So what's this 一定? 一定. 一定 means definitely. 一定, certainly, definitely. So now you have enough to go on here. 妈妈这么漂亮，儿子长大一定也很帅. Pause and write down what you think this means. And likely you came up with something very close to his mom is so pretty. He'll certainly 一定 he'll certainly be handsome, 帅 when he grows up. 长大。Alright, 来，我们吃蛋糕吧。Alright, pause and write down what you think this means. Come on, let's eat cake. And then, of course, we have Gao Wenzhong piping in and saying, 等等百应爱吧，他最爱吃蛋糕。Okay, so 最 is a superlative. It means most. 最爱爱吃蛋糕 means really like to eat cake. 最爱吃蛋糕 means it's the most favorite thing to do. 最爱 you 最爱 to do something. 你最爱吃 something. 你最爱 eat something means it's your most favorite thing to eat. So 等等百应爱吧，他最爱吃蛋糕。Alright, pause and write down what you think this means. Wait for Bai Ying-ai. She likes to eat cake the most. There's other ways you could express this. This is just one of them. So that concludes this Understand It video. Be sure to watch the grammar video for some more in-depth discussion on the new elements that you saw in this lesson.